So thank you so much, Green Magazine and Mini Living. This is a great opportunity to talk in front of you all, and some great models, and the standard here is impeccable. So, this is a pressing issue that is to counter the urban sprawl that's currently going on, and to increase density and facilitate the infrastructure that we have around us. So, I think it is a great initiative, and it's good for these projects to become the catalyst for that. So going straight through into my design process and how I tackled this project, looking at the site. That turned out pretty small. So looking at the site, looking at the single mass of it, the constraints of that, the generator on the rear side, and also the building envelopes surrounding that. And I really wanted to break up the single mass of the site into two volumes to allow the northern light to penetrate through, and all the living spaces to be pushed forward, and also facilitating some ventilation through a shared atrium, and then pushing those services to the southern side, but having a shared atrium, and then the atrium has a communal green wall throughout, and each floor plate feeds into that green wall. It's shown a lot better within my model. And then certain water catchment systems going back into that green wall and filtering back into that. So in a sense, it's the sustainable unit. And so really, like, one of the main ideas was this overlapping of floor plates, and how if whatever room you were in, you could sort of view into the next room, and there was a sense of like belonging, and almost like this dormitory where you can view into each room. But in saying that, there's an element of privacy where you have adjustable double ply screens that slide from either side, and they give that element of privacy, and close up the space when you want to go into your own zone. And so another question of having a building with such program sitting within the CBD context, and how it relates to that, and the privacy of that, and whether it should be introverted or extroverted. And so initially I went with this very introverted facade system that conceals the program inside the home, and so there is that level of privacy. But then breaking that up and using the site's benefits around, so the mural opening up, and so these little study retreats and these little pods open up to the surrounding context, whether it's the trees and just looking over onto Little Collins Street as well. And these threshold spaces also become areas between the city, the home of these shared spaces, and then this little moment of retreat where you can get away from the grind and have your own time. And looking at the exterior and interior, so that relationship on a civil level, and the exterior has a steel cladding wrapped around the building, but then the interior has a radial timber, so it's the softness of the inside, which makes it more livable and more enjoyable, and then sort of the harshness, I guess, on the outside. And that comes to the name of the scheme. So 2 Ps in a pod. The 2 Ps are the 2 volumes of the building, and the pod being Melbourne CBD, so how it sits harmoniously within the CBD. And just going through some renders, you can sort of see through how the building folds and unfolds and protects itself from the streetscape and conceals it, but then opens up on that northern facade, and you start to see those profiles coming in now. and then sort of how that relates back into the context and the repetition of the facade, and it's picking up on the colours surrounding this game. And then on the inside, you have these soft spaces, which are quite intimate and using natural materials as well. So a lot of plywood, recycled plywood, and the radial timber again. And yeah, that's the atrium space. So that's the communal garden that sweeps up through all 4 levels and feeds into each one. So there's a negotiation there between like the balustrade and the garden. And yeah, that's my skate.